What is up, legends? It's Mark here. And we're live, baby. We're fucking live. And I went live about 5 minutes ago and the chat wasn't working for some reason. Hopefully it's working now. I'm going to get it pulled up, but you guys know the drill. Let me know where you're listening in from. It's been a little minute since I've been live, so let's make this a really, really good one. I got some very cool stuff to share with you guys that I've been working on recently, hence the reason that I haven't been going live as much. But it's going to make you some fungolas. So drop it in the chat. Let me know where you're listening in from. Let me make sure I didn't fuck this shit up again. Ah, there we go. Cool. All right, what's up, guys? Oost. What's up? Vito. Adrian from Tampa. What's up, man? Burger Brains. Jeremy Cologne in the building. Germany Cologne. What's up? From Croatia. Martin. What's up, man? Jaka. What's up? Weird Stack. Yo, Mark, I got 2 million views on my page, but no sales. You doing organic on TikTok? Give me some more details, bro. Let's figure it out. Jalen from the Bay Area. We got Avico, Arizona. Anya Valentine. What's up, man? Toronto in the building. Get Money Inc. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Greetings from Finland. My Norwegian, or no, my Scandinavian brother from another mother country. What's up, man? DF does it. Mark, how was Dubai? Dude, Dubai was amazing. I think Alex has a vlog coming out either today or tomorrow. That's kind of a recap of the event, the trip in Dubai. It was fantastic, man. The event was by far the best event that we've ever done. The total revenue per year in that room was over $4 billion. So we had some really, really phenomenal entrepreneurs in there. Basically shared everything that we possibly could, gave as much value as we possibly could, connected with a lot of really cool people. So if you were there at Dubai, man, thank you for coming. That was an amazing event. That was awesome. I also got to speak on stage. Spoke about funnel architecture, how to scale to 100K a day, AOV maximization, the Chad funnel structure, some other really cool stuff. I don't know if I'm going to release it ever. Time will tell. But yeah, dude, it was fantastic. Bro, I wanted to pull up, but I'm still broke. In time, brother. In time. You'll be there. Don't worry about it. All right, guys. So a few things I wanted to go over before we hop into like just straight Q&A and start ripping questions. One of my favorite entrepreneurs out there, his name is Tom Bilyeu. And Tom Bilyeu said this one phrase that always stuck with me. I didn't really understand it until I studied it a little bit more. But I think if you want to learn the best way to like start and grow a business or like handle relationships with people or just do anything in your life, honestly, the best thing to do is to look at nature. This is something that Marcus Aurelius would do frequently. He would look at what is nature doing, and if it's natural in nature, then it's not necessarily good or bad, right? Nothing is really good or bad in this life, but thinking makes it so. We have all this external stimuli being fed into our brain. We're just trying to make sense of it 24/7. Nothing is actually good or bad. It's all about how you personally frame it. And so one of the things that Tom Bilyeu would talk about is the laws of thermodynamics. I mean, we know the first law of thermodynamics, but how many people know the second law of thermodynamics, which is that over time, everything moves towards entropy, which is chaos. Everything over time moves towards chaos. And I think this is like super, super applicable to everything that we do in business, especially for me right now. Like I'm starting to see all this stuff to come together. And the only way to reduce entropy and everything moving towards chaos is to inject energy into the system. And so in life, a lot of times you guys are probably, pretty aware of this, but I have no idea where I was going with that fucking thought. I'm not gonna lie. But the point is, like, in your life and business, you always think that, like, okay, after I get through this difficult phase, it's gonna be a lot easier, right? That's like the way that our brains work. It's like, all right, I'm gonna go through the shit. It's gonna suck, but as soon as I get out of it, everything's gonna be okay. It's gonna be good. I'm gonna be making money. I'm gonna have no problems in the world. In reality, that's not true at all. What is actually true is that you get through this, you climb one mountain and your problems don't go away, they just change. So when you solve the problem of being broke, the next problem, you have to solve is consistently not being broke. Anybody can make 10K in a month. How many people can make 10K a month for a year? And then it's like, okay, I made 10K a month for a year. That's basically like, it's not a lot of money anymore. Now I need to go to like 50K a month, to 100K a month. And it's like, as soon as you kind of get over like this first mountain, if you're right here, you're like, dude, I've been doing everything that I can. I just got to get up this freaking hill. You're like, as soon as I'm over it, it's going to be easy. But little do you know, you can't see over the first mountain. But as soon as you get over it, there's like a mountain that's like twice the size. And then you make it past the first one and you're like, shit. You told me I got to do this shit again? Okay, one last time. I'll get over this mountain and then it'll be good. And then, of course, there's like another mountain right after it. This is just life. Problems do not go away. And in fact, they typically get even more complex to solve. Like, your problems never go away. They just change, right? That's literally it. And so your life, like as a human being, it's always moving in the direction of entropy. It's moving towards chaos. And if you don't continually inject energy, then your life is just going to get more and more chaotic. So there's a level that you have to get to. Every single fucking time you cross one of these mountains, you have to elevate again and again and again. Nothing in this life, guys, is ever stagnant. Nothing is ever staying the same. Imagine if you're like in a race, like you're running a 5K, right? Everybody's kind of jogging at their pace, 6, 7, 8 minute mile pace. That's just normal to finish the race. To win the race, you have to fucking sprint. And most of you aren't even moving. Most of you are like walking or just standing still, in which case everybody is passing you. The only way to really get ahead is inject an inordinate amount of energy into the system, into your business, into your life, to actually get the results that you want. So this is the second law of thermodynamics. Like I said, looking to nature and seeing the laws that apply there and applying them to your business, super, super valuable. So one quick little thing I want to share with you guys. And then one other thing, for those of you that are watching my content, you know that I'm a total fucking copywriting nerd. You guys want to make some real money. What you got to do, number one, use ChatGPT and not Claude. Number two, use ChatGPT 4.5. It's actually substantially better than any other OpenAI model, in my opinion. It's quite a bit better. Usually there's like small increments from 3.5 to 4.0 and then 4.0 to no, this one is pretty substantial actually, especially in terms of writing copy. It's significantly better. And you have to use this new tool inside of ChatGPT called Deep Research. Use that for your copywriting research. I'm going to go over this in my video tomorrow. I'm uploading a video on advertorials. The only reason I didn't upload it today is because I'm working it hard. I'm hard, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. No, I was busting my ass on this video because this is the type of thing where like anybody could watch it and just start putting out bomb fucking advertorials. Really, really good advertorials without like barely even trying, barely even thinking. And so, yeah, that video is going to come out tomorrow. As you can tell, I'm pretty excited for it. I think you guys are going to love it. With that said, let's hop into the Q&A. Sleepy, what's up, bro? Mark is young maxing. Wait. Yeah. Hey, man. If you know, you know. If you guys want to do some really interesting reading and I think everybody in life has those people that just said, you aren't going to accomplish your goals. Like, that's crazy. Nobody could ever make that amount of money. Nobody can ever make that amount of money on the internet. I think every single person has at least one person in their life that just doubted them, that just doubted the fuck out of them. And I don't know about you guys, but that shit lights me the fuck up. If you thought I was motivated before, if somebody tells me that I can't do something, bro, I have like unlimited motivation for the next like 6 months. The problem is I don't have enough people doubting me now. So I think that means that I need to make my goals bigger. But the reason I brought that up is because when I was in college, I started diving really deep into this concept of the shadow, which was originally invented by Carl Jung. It's basically the shadow is the side of your personality that integrates all of the deep, dark, terrible, oftentimes, aspects of your character, of your personality. And most people, like the big mistake is that most people try to repress this. The repression of your shadow is a terrible, terrible thing to do. Terrible thing to do. Because when you repress your shadow, what happens is it still pops up just without your control. For example, in this context of like there's somebody in your life that's been doubting you. It's just like pissing you the fuck off. The way to integrate that is to use that as productive energy to run your business or to make money online, whatever that is for you, right? That is really how you use that productively. But if you don't, if you just take that and you like repress it, it's going to naturally come up and actually be destructive. It's going to be destructive against you, against your relationships. Like if you have a girl and yeah, you lost me if you have a girl because, you know, I'm just kidding. If you have a girl and my mind is all over the place right now. If you have a girl and you're not repressing your shadow, like God forbid, you start treating her in a bad way. Like you don't speak to her with respect. And then next thing you know, fine shit leaves you. That was a joke. Ha, ha, ha. Okay, very good. Senna, what's up, bro? Run more ads, run more ads, run more ads, run more ads. Run more ads, run more ads, run more ads. Run more ads to fight the CPMs. All right, let me get to some good questions here. Yo, man, so my Q is kind of work ethic related. I've known you from the NHB group, and from what I hear and see, you're a beast. How do you do it? Just work my fucking ass off, man. I mean, I think it comes down to, I love Alan, by the way. Alan is a freaking man. I really have love for the game in the same way that he does. And I just love the process of getting better, man. There's nothing more that I like than building stuff and getting better. Like the process of building a company, of building anything, building a skill set is like so addictive to me. That's like the real video game that I'm playing. You guys play video games. I play video games in real life. And to me, that's like leveling up my character with the skills that I personally have. That shit is so fucking fun to me that all these people, they come and they ask like, Mark, how do you stay so disciplined? How do you stay so focused, so motivated? I'm not always motivated, but it's like, I really, really enjoy this. Like if I find a piece of copy or a new copywriter or some like weird rabbit hole that has to do with copywriting and direct response, I just totally nerd out and get really obsessive about it and learn everything there is to know. Like I know a good amount about the history of the game and I've only been in it for like 7 years. There's a lot of people that know a lot more than me. But I just love the process of getting better, dude, testing new stuff, figuring out stuff that works. I love that. And I think that's why I've been able to be successful, because it's really authentic love for the game. Honestly, you can ask anybody around me, any of my friends, any of my team members, they know, because I talk about it nonstop, that this is really the reason that I'm here. It's because I actually love the game. One of my favorite quotes is it's actually something I relate to my team constantly. And it says, the man that loves walking will always walk farther than the man who is in love with the destination. I know Sam Solik said that at one point. I don't know who he got it from, but I just love that, man. And I think it's so true. So true. Dude, what is this name? All right, guys, we got a question from Billy, Ricky, James, Jordan, Alexander, John the Third. He said, my TikTok ads manager has been suspended for order fulfillment verification. Tried appealing 3 times, nothing. Brother, you're going to have to get a new account, man. I mean, you can try opening another one yourself. If not, you're going to have to use some insiders to get it back. Ciao. This guy, Candace. What's up, Candace? I know that's just going to be a joke, but I'm going to say it anyways. It's a one-way conversation here. All right, intelligent money. Mark, what do you think about mixing a common LP with a consciousness scale? So it's not going to be quite as linear because, in my opinion, the best way to apply like the consciousness related things is to VSLs because you have their attention in isolation. With a TSL or a regular sales page, they're going to be skimming. They're going to be bouncing all over. They're going to look at photos more than they're looking at text. And so how can you really control the state that somebody's in if you can't even control their attention? So you can do your best to do it. You can still channel it, especially in like traditional long form sales letters. You can definitely do it that way because those are actually meant to be read like top to bottom. Most people don't, but they'll still read relatively linearly. But with the consciousness stuff, I think it's best applied to VSLs. But you can definitely use it. You can use it with anything, man. Any landing page, any ad, you should be thinking about that. It should be in the back of your mind. Chow, hello, Mark. How many hours did you focus on your project during college? I only have 4 hours. Well, we all have the same amount of time, my man. The only thing that changes is how effective we are at manipulating time. And so for me, when I was in college, I would always prioritize the business. Like there's a saying that goes like money flows where your attention goes. And if your number one priority when you're in school is school, then you're going to be really good at school and you're not going to be as good with business. For me, I structured my days to do the majority of my most important work for my business early in the morning because where your attention goes, energy flows. Where your attention goes, money flows. So I really, really wanted to make sure that I was growing my business. So I literally prioritized that. Like first thing in the morning, that was always the first thing that I always worked on. Raphael, what's up, man? Mark, I know you say that you can sell any product if ads are good and that testing a lot of ads is great. But when I should actually move on to another product when I'm testing product for the last 5 days. So I would base it off of the KPIs and the metrics that you have for your ads that are running right now. So if you run for 5 days, number one, I want to know like how much did you spend on that particular test? And number two, is it worth a readjustment and relaunch? So if I am going through and like looking at my data, for example, and I have like CPCs that are over like $2 in the US, my CTR across all my ads is like under 1%. But there's one ad. There's one ad that's at like a 2% CTR and a $1 CPC. And it's actually profitable. Like if you launch 10 ads, one of them is actually profitable, you want to analyze that one specifically. And so I'm going to be looking at the data, man, based off of how much that you've spent, your overall profitability. Is actually there any desire for this product? And if I find that this one creative is the one that's actually converting the best, is it worth a relaunch and launching more creatives that are most specific to this one winner that I had? If the answer is yes, then I'm going to relaunch once, see if I can get some more life out of the product, read the data again. Remember, with Facebook, with anytime you're running ads in general, you're never losing money. You're buying data. You're buying data. And so I launch, spend money, see how much I make back, look at my ad side metrics, look at the ad side metrics on my ads, look at my funnel. How's the funnel converting? Is it an ad problem or a creative problem or a landing page problem? And then go through that whole process that I've gone through many, many times. And yeah, bro, that's really it. And if it's worth a relaunch once. And if it still doesn't work after that, I'd move on to the next one. Simple as that. Because the truth of the situation, man, is I'm a little delusional, but I honestly believe that I can make most products work if you give me enough time and enough money, which I have plenty of money. It's just like, is it actually worth the opportunity cost of continuing to try to make this product work compared to, moving on to another product? Because there's some companies out there, man, not dropshipping businesses, but there's some companies out there that you literally can't just move on to another product. Like this is your one product. You manufacture 10,000 units and you have to sell them, period. What are you going to do? Move on to another product? No, because you don't have another product. This is the only product that you have. So dropshippers are very unique and they can actually, control that a little bit. You can move on to another product. Vito, most of my ad sets have over 3% CTR, but CPC is like $3.50. So that sounds like a high CPM problem in that case, because that is very good CTR. You could try warming up your ad account a little bit and relaunching, but it sounds like you have something that's working. I would want to know what your funnel metrics are. Daniel Clark, hey Mark, starting my first beauty store next month. Wondering what I should start with funnel-wise. Just VSL to PDP, or should we start with VSL to Avatar, the sales page for a new store? Dude, I don't know what kind of results you have. For me, I go straight to funnels, but that's because I've been doing it for a while and I have the capital to lose a little bit more upfront, and I'm good at like manipulating the variables with my creatives and my funnel. If that's not you, what you should do is, and you haven't generated, let's say like 100K at least with ecom online, then I would just go straight to PDP, standard Shopify funnel, get that initial validation of the product, because it's so much easier to check that box, be like, okay, people actually want this thing, they actually want to buy my product, and then move to funnels. That's going to be a lot better compared to just going straight to funnels, because the work required to do a whole like funnelish funnel, the Chad funnel that I talk about all the time, that takes a lot of work to put together, man. That takes probably 5 times the amount of time compared to like a standard PDP. So if you want to test quickly, then that's probably the way that you should do it, specifically if you don't have a lot of revenue under your belt in the first place. Louise, I like that name. Mark, can you do like a fully dumbed down guide to advertising, like how to create and use them effectively? So dude, I did a whole video on Facebook ads, specifically like just setting them up. And I have a whole video on creatives, and I have a whole video on funnels. So just combine them all, bring them all together. I'm thinking of doing a full like branded dropshipping tutorial, like start to finish. It'll probably be like 3 or 4 hours long. I'm thinking of doing that. We'll see. It'd be very, very valuable for sure. But it's like 3 or 4 hours of my time. I'm like, fuck. Akinfluence. Mark, did you have any problems with Meta ad accounts being banned when running ads? Yes. Dude, I have been through the ringer with Facebook before. Now I'm doing much better. Thank you for asking. But yeah, dude, I definitely went through it with Facebook. There was a period of time, for me, it started in 2019, where I got my first ad account shut down, and I'll never forget it because I didn't even know that was a thing that they could do. I was like, what does this even mean? And now it's becoming, it's not becoming, it is like significantly more common. But they didn't used to just like shut down ad accounts for no reason back then. Now they do. But when everybody started flooding to Facebook, they, increase how strict they are with their policies and whatnot. Crypto something. Do you think it's feasible to run a profitable shapewear store running image ads with advertorials, or will video ads be ideal for niche like that? So in terms of like doing video, and this is a good lesson for everybody, it's like video versus image ads. The standard rule of thumb here, bro, is, can you make a product work with image ads versus video ads? Can your product, the question you should ask is, can your product be completely understood without a video? Perfect example, right? This mouse right here. You probably are gonna want a video, because if I just gave you a picture of this mouse, you're not gonna be able to see all the functionality that it has. The fact that there's these 2 hidden buttons on the side that you can't really see, that you can control, do whatever you want, or that there's a 3rd button right here, or that there's a horizontal scroller right here. So same process with ecom products. If you have a product that can be sold without needing a long explanation in a video, then just use an image. That's why most of the fashion dropshippers typically only use images, because they can just test so quickly and they don't need to give a massive explanation for the product. Oh, bro. Leo. Mark, I became lazy after learning about the woo-woo side of money and success. Please help. This is something that I learned too. I didn't get lazy, but I noticed that the amount of money that I made went down, because like most things in life, right? It's a counterbalance This is a counterbalance, by the way. I don't believe in balance, and I say that frequently because balance is like stacking thing after thing after thing directly on top of each other. And then the more that you add, like the more difficult it's going to be to like stack everything together, right? This is what balance is. This is why I think balance is fucking stupid. What I do instead is what's called counterbalance, where you have something on one side balancing out something on the other side, right? I like to live at least a little bit. I like to live at the extremes, you know? Not really, for example, with my life, not doing anything, not doing anything highly dopamine inducing for months, and then have like a few days or a week where I do what I want, you know? And that's the same concept here, because I noticed when I got really into the spirituality side of success and money and law of attraction and consciousness and all this shit, I went too deep. And it needs to be a balance between the, let's just call it like the woo-woo and the practical. The practical is honestly directly what's going to make you the most amount of money, right? You can get as spiritual as you want. I promise you. You can get all into degrees of consciousness. You can read every consciousness book that there is, everything about energy, about law of attraction. At the end of the day, you still got to write some winning fucking ads, bro. You still got to pull up that fucking Facebook ad account and start scaling your fucking business. You still have to make split tests to your landing page to increase your conversion rate. You still have to set up funnels to maximize your AOV. That's not very woo-woo, but it is actually the thing that makes you more money. This is just, the woo-woo stuff is basically setting the frame, right? It's setting the frame for you to live your life and then make as much money as possible within that frame, right? In the same way that a picture frame holds a picture, the frame of consciousness allows you to be as successful as possible. But once you're in here and you have that frame created, the reason I drew this is because you don't want to spend more than 20% of your time here in the woo-woo stuff. Honestly, it should probably be even less. For me, I really like learning about all the woo-woo stuff right before I go to bed because I know that really cool things happen when you plant ideas into your subconscious brain right before you go to sleep. Right before you go to sleep and right when you wake up is when your brain is most suggestible. There's a specific energy state associated with right before you go to bed or right before you wake up, and it's called the theta wave state, Theta, the theta state. And with theta brain waves, they move much more slowly, and it's like right before you're drifting off into sleep. This is when you're most suggestible. Imagine with like a hypnotist. This is the state that they try to get you in, this relaxed state of relaxation. It's just super, super deep, but you're not quite asleep yet. That is when you are most suggestible. That's a state that they get you in and then install beliefs in you or install actions so that when you get whipped out of that state, you start acting like a completely different human being or you just completely forget something. That's how they do what they do. I've studied hypnosis actually, not super extensively, but I've studied it a little bit. And this is exactly what they do to try to creep into your subconscious brain. So that's my answer for getting like too deep into the spirituality stuff, man. You still gotta build some shit at the end of the day. You still gotta do hard things. You still have to be disciplined. You still have to do the boring things every single day that you know for a fact make you better, but they're still boring. That's why Kobe Bryant would get 1,000 made shots a day outside of practice. Still gotta do the fucking work. Solo range. What's up, bro? How much should I get charging for something like CMOS gummies if I'm running VSL to an advertorial, since I know low AOV actually hurts CVR in an advertorial? Low AOV hurts CVR in advertorial. Yeah, there is some truth to that. I think you're asking like how much did you charge? So I would go for like the $40 to $50 range for one, but you with supplements, bro, you really want to push people to buy that 3 or 6 month bundle. And yeah, man, supplements are really, really fun to sell, but that's what you're going to want to do, and then have a bunch of order bumps and cross sells before they even complete their purchase to maximize the pre-purchase AOV, because AOV is twofold, right? You have pre-purchase and then you have post-purchase, right? So let's say the payment is captured right here. You have pre-purchase upsells and then you have post-purchase upsells. Now, post obviously going to be more effective. You're going to have higher take rates, and you can have a higher AOV contribution, higher price elasticity, because you have their credit card information captured already, and you have them in the most emotional state that they'll ever be in the history of your business. So you can use your copy to get them in the right state significantly more than they do pre-purchase, right? Because they've already put their trust in you as a business to buy your product. And so for you, man, in terms of like maximizing, you're basically asking about maximizing the pre-purchase AOV, right? It's going to be bundles, that's going to be order bumps, it's going to be quantity discounts. Cobra Kai. What would you recommend building a store with? Most of the stores on your VSL doc aren't built with Shopify. Yeah, I know. The reason why they're not built with Shopify is because Shopify is not very superior in terms of like AOV maximization and conversion rate. A lot of them are using either Checkout Champ or Funnelish. And you can see that, by the way, if you go to like Get Hooked, for example. Let me see if I can find a good, this is my favorite search term right here. Or not search term, but search filter for VSLs. Go to one of these and let's, oh, this is going right to the checkout or no? Okay. This is advertorial. So with this advertorial, for example, I'm sorry if this is your brand. Nobody copy this. What you can do is right click and do view page source. Literally search for, you see that right there? Assets.checkoutchamp.com. That's how you know it's built on Checkout Champ. And you do the same thing if it was Funnelish. As you can see, nothing for Funnelish there. Next question. How do I say his name? Vojta Brucek. I don't know, bro. You're going to have to help me out with that. Where are you from, dude? That is such a unique name. I'm waiting till you start talking about Plato, Socrates, Freud at this point. You can bet your ass I have read plenty of Plato, Socrates. Not a lot of Sigmund Freud, though. Socrates is really, really good. Plato is fantastic. If you haven't read The Allegory of the Cave, it's basically the life that we're living right now. So go fucking read it. The point of running a business and like being an entrepreneur, yes, you want to make money, but you also still want to be a well-rounded human being. I read a lot of weird shit. Like I read some self-help stuff, yes, but like the book that, where the fuck is it? Ah, shit. I'm reading a book on how they got people to be recruited for cults in the government. I read books about hypnosis. I read like I'm looking at my bookshelf over here. I have The Principia by Isaac Newton. I have The Origin of Species by Charles Darwin. I have some fiction books here and there. Like it's not just all self-development, growth, like focus, productivity, blah, blah, blah. Because when you take these, like the minds and the strategies and the ideas that stick around for centuries or even thousands of years, like think of like the Bible, the Quran, there's probably more wisdom in those books compared to this guy that's like an Amazon bestseller when you launch one book, right? So I think you should be learning from everything, because then you become an actual, like a real actualized human being that's diverse and you have unique ideas, right? If I just thought the same as everybody else, none of you would be here. There's a reason that you're watching my content right now and not somebody else. Because I have this unique philosophy, right? Well, I didn't get the unique philosophy by not being unique myself. I have to go outside of myself and look at nature, look at history, look at the masters of their craft. Like, for example, I love listening to jazz music. I fucking love jazz because I play piano. I've played piano for 18 years. I played piano, I think, since I was 6 years old. I've played for a very long time. And so I like using that as well. And it's just bringing all these sources of knowledge to become like one well-rounded, successful individual. That's why I think it's so funny that I filmed these with my shirt off, because I walk around with my shirt off all the time. But if you were to just look at me walking in the street, right? You probably make all of these judgments about who this guy is. And most of them are probably dead ass wrong. And that's why I fucking love that shit. Next question. Oh, great question here. Health Goddess. Better to run advertorial to PDP or squeeze page to VSL than PDP? So if you're doing a VSL, bro, I know one thing about running like traffic to a VSL. By the way, I mean VSL pages, not like VSL ads. VSL ads are great. Running ads to a VSL page where there's just like a blank page and a video, like that's it. I think jump pages or squeeze pages are best to drive the traffic to first, because I know for a fact that Facebook hates taking people off their platform just to watch another video. Like, you think about it in Facebook's terms, right? Their goal is to maximize the amount of time that a user spends on their platform so that they can sell more ad space. That's like the sole goal of Facebook. You immediately take people off the platform and they stay off the platform for however long your VSL is. If I were Facebook, I would say, fuck this guy. I'm turning off his ads. I'm restricting his ad account. So when you do a squeeze page beforehand, I bet you right now I could find like an advertorial here, or not advertorial, a jump page here in like 30 seconds. You can fucking time me. And it's probably going to slow down because there's so many fucking things on this. Boom. Wait. No. Never mind. Advertorial. Okay, there we go. Jump page right there. I don't know why it's trying to translate to Portuguese, but yeah, as you can see, bro, perfect example right here, right? If you were to go to, I know my video is probably shit right now, but you can still hear me. If I click this, that's when I actually go to the VSL. There's a reason that they're not driving people directly to this VSL page, right? There's a reason that this jump page is here in the first place. So keep that in mind. Facebook doesn't like it when you drive traffic directly to a VSL page, so, you know, don't. Candace. Mark, how do you push on even after reaching the goal you had set? I find it very hard to go even harder after hitting goals. I think every successful entrepreneur goes through something like this, bro, where they like quote unquote make it and they're not really worried about their survival anymore. Like you're making money. In fact, you're making a lot of money. How do you continue to push? And you can do one of two things here. You can lean heavier into the goals and just be like, okay, I accomplished that. What's another goal that just like lights me the fuck up? That I could just wake up and immediately I have energy for it. Like it makes me excited just to fucking think about that. Like, what is that goal? So exciting, so big, it's going to involve and impact so many people. You could go that route. Or you can go the route of actually fucking enjoying the process, right? The quote that I said earlier, the man who loves walking will always walk more than the man who's in love with the destination. So how can you focus all of your energy on enjoying the process more than the goals? And I found that my affinity for life and how much I enjoy my day-to-day significantly goes up when I do the latter of those two. And I actually focus on enjoying the process. Like my goals, I have goals, but it's like me putting a letter in a mailbox and like not thinking about it. Because I know the mail is going to be delivered. I know the goal is going to be achieved. But I'm not going and checking the mail like every single day to make sure that the person mailed back, right? I just send it and I let it go. David Hawkins type. So that's that's my advice to you, bro. Hopefully that helps. Daniel Clark. Hi, Mark. I'm Irish. Do you think it'd be a good idea to start out running ads in Ireland? CPMs would probably be great, but frequency would be high, super fast. I think Harvey Carnegie tried this. Typically, I'm pretty bullish, man, on selling in your own market because you speak that specific language. I'm not sure if Harvey had success or not, but I know a lot of guys that are exclusively selling in Europe, dude, and they destroyed. The only thing that you have to keep in mind is that a lot of the guys that destroy in Europe, they eventually try to move to the United States at some point. Like they can make 10, 20, 50 million dollars in Europe, but eventually they want to move to the US. Why? Why do they want to move to the US? It's because of payment processors and the type of customers that we have in the US. We have some of the, if not the best customers in the US, period. Like not even close. The customers that are willing to spend the most amount of money with you. Because like Americans, bro, we just fucking buy shit. Like we're always just fucking buying shit. Always. And not only are we buying shit, we're buying shit that we can't afford. That doesn't happen nearly as much in European countries. It just doesn't. It still happens, but like you have to keep in mind the payment processors, because when I was giving my speech in Dubai, I had to have this whole section where I was speaking specifically to the guys exclusively selling in Europe, which was a good portion of the audience. And I was like, look, you guys are limited with your payment processing options, right? Like Klarna's great. You almost have to have it in some countries, in some markets, but the post-purchase upsell path is basically fucked with Klarna. Like you're gonna have to re-enter your credit card info because Klarna doesn't currently support OTO functionality. So, yeah, hopefully that helps. Mondo AZ 071 just joined 5 a.m. from Australia. My man. I think we still have some team members in Australia, so that's freaking awesome, dude. That's a real one right there. All right, we got another tactical one from Vito. Let's see, man. Hey, Mark. Related to my question before about very high CPMs, $100 plus. I'm very high CPC, $34. I think you mean 3 to 4. KPI, KPI 141 sessions on site, 9 at a car, 6 at one sale, almost $300 on ads, $100 a day. Okay, so your CPA is like $300. You have one sale. To me, I mean, yeah, your conversion rate is low, so that's definitely, you have both problems right now. You have a funnel problem and you have a creative problem. And by creative problem, I really mean ad account problem, because your CTR was good. If I'm thinking about the same guy, your CTRs were good. CPCs were too high, which means your CPMs were high, which I was exactly right about that. It's over $100. So you're going to have to do some things to get those CPMs down. And that could be a whole video in and of itself. And now that I'm saying this out loud, I should create a video on this because this is really, really important. But in addition to that, those are all the ad side problems. You also have funnel problems, which is your conversion rate is like sub 1%. So I don't know how much your product is. Even if it's like $100 plus, that's honestly too low. The add to cart to purchase ratio is a little low, and the add to cart ratio is also a little bit low. It's sub 10%, which KPI is 10%. And the add to cart to purchase ratio is also sub 30%, right? You have one sale and 9 add to carts. That's only whatever percent that fucking is, like 13% or something. So not great. You got to make better. The creatives are good. So you have to adjust some things in your ad account, warm it up. Try using an agency ad account. CPMs are complicated, man. I'm not going to lie to you. I could do a whole video on them if you're interested. But yeah, you're going to have to adjust some things in your ad account to lower those CPMs. Then you got to make some changes to your funnel, man. It's looking that landing page that you're sending traffic to is not doing its job. It's not really convincing people that they should add the product to the cart and purchase it, which could also mean that, yes, your CTR is good, but are you getting buyer's intent to your website? Like, it's really perfect example, dude. I ran an offer one time. I had a 10% CTR on my ads, 10%. Did I scale it to $1 million? No, because nobody fucking bought. I was getting what's called curiosity clicks. I got people that were really, really interested, but they weren't bought in. They weren't like, oh, this is something I want to buy. They're just like, oh, I kind of want to see what this is about. You see the difference? And so sometimes being direct and having lower CTRs and lower CPC, higher CPC is actually a good thing because you're going to convert more of them. It's like being product aware versus just being problem or solution aware. Hopefully that helps. But yeah, I'll put together that CPM video because I have a lot of guys asking. I put together a video a few months ago about some things that we did to reduce our CPMs, because like one time, just overnight, our CPMs literally doubled. They went from like $30 on average to like $80 on average. And that was like really, really problematic. And so we tested a fuck ton. Like we tested so many things. And eventually there was like 3 main things that actually allowed us to scale. So if you want that Loom video, again, it's a little old. It still works. I still use some of those things, but you can just DM me the word CPM on Instagram, and I can send that Loom video over to you. All right. All right, guys, I'm going to have to hop off pretty soon here, so let's get a few last questions in here and see what else we got, man. Solar. Yo, bro, nothing to ask, just thanking you for what you do. Keep it up, bro. You know, man, I needed to hear that. Thank you. Next question. Ooh, Bengal. Mark Builds Brands, what's your opinion on making natural looking creatives to lower CPMs? Because whenever I use salesy ads, it's high CPMs. Super bullish on it, bro. We should come up with a term for this. I used to call them like native ads, but native ads are something completely separate. But yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Almost every time that I do this, all right, you guys want to make some good fucking ads? Here's a little hack for you. Whatever product it is that you're selling, understand the niche that it is. For example, let's say health and beauty, you're selling a product related to like knee pain, right? What you should do is go to TikTok and search knee pain. Not the product. Search the problem, knee pain. And look at the videos with the most amount of views and look at the hooks specifically of those organic videos. The same concept of hooks applies to organic. It's a little bit different because you need conversions on paid compared to organic. You're just getting views. However, you'll get a really good understanding of the first initial clips and hooks that work really, really well. And that's all quote unquote natural content, right? That's a natty content. It looks super non-invasive on your feed, just looks like another regular post. Every time I go in that direction, dude, it works really well and I make some good money. So I'm super bullish on that. Cal McCryer. Are VSLs good for any product? No, they're totally unnecessary for some products, man. Not gonna lie. Totally unnecessary. Fashion, perfect example. You could make a VSL work for fashion, but so unnecessary. But refer to what I was talking about with like the, image ads versus video ads. So go back a little bit in the live if you don't remember that. Best way to keep CPMs low at a start? I mean, warm up the ad account, warm up the page. It's going to be your best bet. Avico. Mark, do all the concepts you talk about relating to paid ads transfer over fully to organic, or there are any notable differences? So there actually is some notable differences, man. Exactly what I said previously, because with ads, you have to always have the conversion in mind, the sale in mind. A lot of times you can get views on an organic video and still make some money. But if you're not getting conversions, then that's like a serious problem. You need conversions from day one with ads. Bruce Willis Dewsby. Hopefully I got that name right. Advertorials work well for info products, especially for tripwires leading to higher ticket. You had me until you said higher ticket. So I was going to say yes, but like, especially for tripwires leading to higher ticket, if you're doing higher ticket, I would just do like opt-in page to VSL, or yeah, you can still use like pre-sales pages, like pre-VSL pages, like a jump page maybe, but using like an advertorial for a high ticket, I probably wouldn't do it. Not to say that it can't work. I'm sure some people have done it successfully, but those are typically more for like the lower emotional state, audiences. Oh, great question here. Mark, will she text me back? Well, that depends, man. Are you worth texting back? Universe is a mirror. All right. Let's end on a good one here. All right, so I can end on this one because this is a interesting one for me. So I see some of you guys asking about like Mark, who do you think about, Samir? Who do you think about, or what do you think about this person, that person? Dude, I live under a fucking rock. I barely see the sun. I concern myself with my skill set and not a whole lot else. So, in terms of like, what do you think of this guy? I don't know, man. I stay in my own fucking lane. I really do. Like, I just do. Sure, he's a good guy. I don't know. Bro said, yeah, but I low-key messed up. Shit happens, man. Shit happens. Sometimes you just gotta take the L and move on, dude. That's all life is, man. Remember, it's all about learning. And if it's really in the cards, the person will come back for you. David Kwan. Mark, do you care about Rolexes? I don't give a flying fuck about Rolexes, bro. All right, guys. That was a blast. I got to run because I got some other shit to do. But I appreciate all you guys. It's been a good live, man. I'll get back to doing them regularly pretty soon. Likely next week. Honestly, part of the reason I haven't gone live because I fucking hate this background, bro. I want to be in the dark. Fucking sunlight distracting me. All right, anyways, guys. Have a great one. Peace.